Joining us from our Dallas bureau, we have one. He's so tough he gets to work via catapult. It's former Florida Congressman, Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. He's also a Fox News contributor. So, Colonel, my first question is, you have all this conflict going on where people are calling each other names. People call each other, righties call each other rhinos, and then the rhinos call each other crazies. The right seems more inclined to fight each other than the actual adversaries, the other political party.
Yeah, it's good to be with you, Greg. You're absolutely right. It reminds me of that scene in Braveheart where after he had first defeated the English, the Scottish lords were all fighting against themselves, and they asked William Wallace where he was going. He said, "I'm going to fight the English." You know, we need to have a resolute leader that can stand up and talk about how do we restore economic growth in the United States of America. We just heard this GDP report of 2.3% growth. That's anemic. Ronald Reagan had us clipping along at 7 to 8%. 93 million Americans are out of work. How do we make sure that we elevate the individual, the small business owner, that type of growth, and not the growth of the federal government? That's what we need to hear. Most importantly, I think one of the reasons why Trump is resonating is because you want to hear people that say what they're going to do and then actually come back and do that. And that's not what people are seeing from the House and Senate leadership of the GOP right now.
Colonel, you bring up Trump, and I'm glad you did. I knew that when he was talking about Senator McCain, and he said he wasn't a war hero after spending 5 years in a prison camp and actually rejecting release. I knew that it was kind of a joke. And he probably, and you could tell Donald felt bad about it. But what bothered me, and it still bugs me, are the people that are supporting Trump and think it's okay that he said that. That they think that, if it was a left-winger saying something about Chris Kyle, they would have gone crazy. If it was Pelosi or Reid, they would have gone nuts. But they're giving Donald Trump a pass on this. To me, am I exaggerating this, or is it something worth noticing?
No, you're not exaggerating, and I'm probably not the best person to ask about that, having served 22 years in the United States Army, a couple of combat tours. But most importantly, I remember sitting and watching the television being concerned about my older brother, who was a Marine infantryman and was wounded at Khe Sanh. And so I think that no one who has never walked through the cauldron of combat should say anything and call out anyone that has walked that walk. And so I think that Donald Trump probably did, go outside the lines with that. And it does upset me that there are individuals that want to give him a pass. If you don't agree with Senator John McCain's policies and politics, that's fine. But, not too many people are going to be strapped inside of a fighter jet doing a nosedive and have to eject. That's something that's above and beyond.
Yeah, I want to ask you about this video that we played earlier with Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Chris Matthews, where he tried to get her to explain the difference between socialism and, I guess, being a Democrat, and she failed miserably. How does she still survive? What is her secret?
Well, there is no accountability on the other side. You look at all the scandals of the Clintons, and they continue to get a pass. And so I don't think Debbie Wasserman Schultz you don't have to worry about her ever writing a comparative analysis of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, John Locke, or Thomas Hobbes. And the question that Chris Matthews asked her was a very pertinent question, because right now you see a party, the Democrat Party, that is all about wealth redistribution. They're all about nationalizing production. They're about, social utopias. They're about a secular state, and they're about creating and expanding a welfare nanny state. That is classical socialist policy. Now, if you want to really be astute and understand that constitutional conservatism is truly classical liberalism, and I think that if we wanted to confuse the left, we would start calling ourselves classical liberals and make them try to define who they are.
All right, final question. When are you running again?
Well, I ran this morning. I put in about 6 miles, and so I'll probably be out running again. So I'm trying to stay on top of things.
See, I got to learn how to phrase my questions. All right, no follow-up then, Colonel West.